How often do you procrastinate? Most of us would admit to being guilty of putting off tasks until later or even never starting them at all. If you want to get things done, then you need to stop procrastinating. Procrastination is defined as delaying something important because you don't want to deal with it now. The problem about procrastination is that it makes you less productive and wastes time. In addition, it also leads to stress and anxiety. Why do people procrastinate? Procrastination is one of the most common problems people face. It affects everyone at some point in their lives. Some people procrastinate because they don't know where to start. Others do not want to take action because they feel overwhelmed. Still, others fear failure. But how do we turn procrastination into a strength? Procrastination isn't actually a weakness. It's just an excuse we use to avoid doing things that we don't want to do. It happens when our minds start thinking about all the reasons why we shouldn't be doing something instead of focusing on the benefits of doing it. The best way to overcome procrastination is to focus on the positive aspects of the task at hand. Focus on the rewards you receive after completing the task, rather than the negative consequences of not finishing it. For example, if you're trying to lose weight, think about all the health benefits you'll see once you reach your weight goal. Or, if you want to write more articles, think about how much better your life will be once you've written them. So, we promised you 8 ways to stop procrastinating and start taking action, and here they are. Make a list of the things you have to do. Making a to-do list helps you organize your day so that you don't forget anything important. It's especially useful when you're trying to accomplish many tasks at once. Try to prioritize them based on importance, urgency, and difficulty. This way, you'll know exactly where to focus your efforts. Ask yourself questions like, what's most important? What's urgent? What's easiest for me? Who needs my help? You'll get better results if you work on one thing at a time. If you're looking for a simple solution, consider using one of our templates to help you manage your time better. You get more done with less effort. We have lots of templates available to fit any of your needs, and the best part is that they're all free. Set deadlines for each task on your list. Setting deadlines help us focus our attention on what we need to do. We know when we must complete something, and we feel motivated to work harder towards completing them. If we don't set deadlines, then we may procrastinate until the last minute, which makes it difficult to finish tasks. You can create a deadline by setting a specific date or time frame. However, if you prefer to use a more flexible approach, try setting milestones. Milestones are smaller goals that you achieve along the way. They give you a sense of accomplishment as you move forward. Start working on the first thing on your list. Starting with the top priority will give you a sense of accomplishment and will motivate you to work on the other items on your list. It will also allow you to test out your new system before moving on to the next item. If you start with the lowest priority task at the bottom of your list, you may not have enough motivation to follow it through until all the tasks are complete. Working on the first thing on your list will help you focus on one task at a time, and you'll avoid getting distracted from what you're doing. When you finish a task, move on to the next item on your list. If you are trying to complete all tasks on your list at once, it will be impossible for you to do them all successfully. Instead, try completing each task before moving on to the next one. This way, you can ensure that you don't miss any important deadlines. If it helps, you can use the Pomodoro technique. It involves setting yourself a timer for 25 minutes and then working on a single task until the timer goes off. When the timer rings again, take a 5-minute break before starting another task. It's proven to be more effective than other methods, such as multitasking, because it focuses your attention on only one thing at a time. We have already made a simple video about it. Don't let yourself be distracted by other things. It's easy to get distracted when working online because there's so many distractions around us all day long. Distractions are everywhere these days. That's why it's crucial to stay focused on doing just one thing at a time instead of multitasking. The more we multitask, the less efficient we become and the slower we get at accomplishing tasks. When you're trying to accomplish multiple things at once, you tend to lose track of time and forget to make progress. The result is that you end up feeling overwhelmed and stressed. We recommend focusing on one task at a time. It allows you to stay productive and organized. Do not put off doing what needs to be done. It will only make matters worse in the long run. If you want to do what needs to be done, you need to take action. The question is, what needs to be done? The answer to this question is different for everyone. It may depend on your situation, your goals, your values, and your priorities. Whatever your goal is, you should set yourself up for success by taking small steps towards achieving your goal. When you begin working towards your goal, you'll notice that things become easier. And once you reach your goal, you realize that you didn't actually have to work very hard at all. Keep track of how much time you spend procrastinating. People spend, on average, almost half of their time online procrastinating. If you find yourself spending too much time online procrastinating, then you might want to consider using some sort of productivity app or software. Nowadays, there are many apps available that allow you to keep track of how much time is being wasted online procrastinating. Some examples include Taskade, project management and outliner app. Taskade has a simple interface, but it does what it says. It allows you to track tasks, set due dates, assign people to them, keep notes, and much more. We have several templates that you can use to get started. Another good tool is Freedom. It helps you focus by cutting off access to specific websites during times that you specify. No more Facebook or YouTube for you, but it's just for a while. And our last recommendation is Rescue Time. Rescue Time is an app that records how long you spend on certain programs and on specific websites to understand what's going on. Once you know where time is wasted, you can reclaim your time and in the process, reduce your stress levels. So moving on to our last and final tip, be honest with yourself about why you procrastinate. Is it laziness or fear? Once you know the answer, you can take steps to overcome these feelings. We all know that procrastination is bad because it wastes our time and prevents us from achieving our goals. But why do we procrastinate so much? Well, according to psychologists, procrastination has two main causes: fear and boredom. Fear comes first. When we feel afraid, we tend to avoid things that might cause us harm. So when we face an important task like studying for exams, we may try to pull off doing it until later. We don't want to start studying now because we're scared that we won't be able to handle it. Boredom follows fear. Once we have avoided a scary task, we often become bored with it. And once we're bored, we'll usually give up trying to complete it. So procrastination isn't just bad because it wastes our precious time. It's also bad because it makes us anxious and then gives up before we even begin. So if you want to stop procrastinating, you need to tackle both fear and boredom. You must get rid of the fear and make sure that you never get bored. It's easy to tell yourself that you will not do something until you've worked out exactly how you will do it. And once you got an idea of how long it will take, you might decide that it's too hard to work on right now. But this isn't necessarily true. Sometimes we put off tasks simply because they seem boring or unimportant, or maybe we're afraid of failure or rejection. Whatever the reason, we often end up putting off things that we would prefer to do sooner rather than later. So instead of letting fear dictate our actions, start simple. Try making a list of everything you need to do today. Then pick one thing to tackle first. Once you finish the task, move on to another one. Before you know it, you have completed several small projects without even realizing it. We hope that the tips we shared in this video will help you get work done. And if you like this video, help us with a like and subscribe. Do you know another tip? Please share it in the comments. And remember that you can use our free templates to get started. These templates have been proven to help people get work done. See you next time.